Have you ever wondered if the man by your side truly loves you? Often, love does not appear in beautiful phrases or ready-made declarations. It shows itself in details, in gestures that seem small, but say much more than a lip service, "I love you." The problem is that it's not always easy to notice these signs, and that's where many women get confused, believing empty promises and overlooking what really matters. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. There's a truth that almost no one talks about. When a man truly loves, he doesn't need 1,000 proofs. In practice, he shows it in just 2 clear and unmistakable signs. 2 signs that, if you observe carefully, will remove any doubt about how he feels. It doesn't matter what he says, it doesn't matter if he sends romantic messages or posts beautiful photos on the internet. None of that guarantees real love. What guarantees it are these 2 signs. Now think about it. How many times have you tried to understand a man's silence? How many times have you wondered if he was really involved or just keeping up the relationship for convenience? This doubt hurts because it affects your self-esteem, confidence, and even the way you see the future. But the truth is that you don't have to live lost in this maze of uncertainty. There is a simple way to find out, without asking for proof, without demanding declarations, without demanding anything. Just see if these 2 signs appear. If so, you can breathe easy. He truly loves you. If not, it's time to rethink. Before revealing these signs, it's important to understand why so many women get confused along this path. The female heart often values what it hears more than what it sees. Words excite, enchant, and touch us deeply. However, for men, love is rarely expressed in long speeches or phrases worthy of a romantic movie. A man who loves doesn't need to talk all the time. He proves it. Those who don't understand this end up in empty relationships, where words are plentiful, but actions are few. And here comes the first reality check. A man who only talks but doesn't prove it is already giving you a silent answer. He shows that his feelings are not as strong as they seem, because those who truly love cannot hide it, even if they try. These 2 signs are almost impossible to fake. That's why, throughout this video, you'll notice that it's not complicated or mysterious. It's simple, straightforward, and practical. So simple that you'll be able to identify it in any man, whether it's your boyfriend, husband, or even someone you just met. And I want you to pay attention, because you may discover something you've never noticed before. You may finally understand why that past relationship didn't work out, or confirm that the man by your side today truly loves you. But there's also another possibility, that you'll see that he doesn't show these signs. And that can serve as a warning so you don't continue wasting time and energy on something with no future. Deep down, every woman wants only one thing: to be truly loved, without having to beg for attention, without having to compete with distractions, without carrying the feeling of being alone in the relationship. When a man shows these 2 signs, he puts an end to all these insecurities. He proves without saying a word that you are his priority, that you have a place in his heart, and that what you are building has a solid foundation. In this video, I will guide you through this discovery. You will understand exactly what these 2 signs are, why they are so important, and how to recognize every detail in male behavior. It doesn't matter if you are starting a relationship, going through a difficult phase, or even unsure whether to continue. What you will hear today may forever change the way you see men. So stay with me until the end, because it's no exaggeration to say that these 2 signs are the key to distinguishing true love from an illusion. Imagine a common scene. A woman comes home after a tiring day. Work was tough, traffic was bad, and all she wanted was a little peace. Her boyfriend, sitting on the couch, asks if everything is okay. She replies that she is, but inside she is exhausted and needs a gesture of care. At that moment, it's not about words, it's about attitude. A man who truly loves her will notice, even if she doesn't say anything. He gets up, prepares something for her to eat, or simply offers her a quiet hug. This gesture may seem simple, but it carries enormous weight. He is not just with her, he is there for her. It is precisely in this difference that the first level of male love appears. Many men say, "I love you," but few show it when the situation really calls for it. Love, to be real, needs to go beyond words and turn into spontaneous actions. That's when what really matters appears. If you think about it, the great loves of your life were not proven by beautiful phrases, but by unexpected actions. Maybe it was a friend who stood by you in a difficult moment, a relative who defended you when you had no strength, or even a stranger who helped you without expecting anything in return. What really matters is action, and in a relationship, it's no different. But many women are confused because they are taught to value what they hear. Movies, songs, stories. Everything reinforces the idea that love is shown in memorable phrases. But the reality is much less poetic and much more practical. A man who truly loves shows it in the details and gestures that don't appear on social media, but that build trust and security in everyday life. Now think about how many times you felt insecure because you didn't receive messages all the time, or because he didn't always say he missed you. How many times did you believe that a lack of words meant a lack of love? This is a common mistake, because a man's language is almost never verbal. It is made up of choices, priorities, where he puts his energy. And here's a secret that few people talk about. Men may lie with words, but they can't sustain a lie with actions for long. Words are light, easy to say. Actions, on the other hand, require effort, consistency, and truth. That's why the signs that reveal true love are not in what he says, but in what he does, repeatedly, even without realizing it. Let me tell you a little story that illustrates this. A young couple had been together for a few months. She demanded more declarations of love, wanted to hear affectionate phrases, wanted him to be like the characters in the movies she watched. He, on the other hand, was not one to talk much, but every day without fail, he checked to see if her car had gas, if the tires were full, and if she had everything she needed for the day. To her, it seemed like little at first, but over time, she realized that this was his way of saying, "I love you," without using words, and it was a much stronger way, because it was accompanied by consistency. This is the key to truly understanding. It's not the quantity of words, but the quality of actions. When you understand this, the way you see a relationship changes completely. You stop focusing on rehearsed lines and start observing what really matters. Of course, every man has his own way, his own personality, his own limitations. But there is one thing that doesn't change. If he loves you, he shows it. And this demonstration is clear, noticeable, and impossible to hide. You just need to learn where to look. So before talking about the two main signs that prove a man's real love, it's essential that you adopt the attitude of an observer. More than listening, learn to see. More than feeling, learn to analyze. Because when you can see the right gestures, you won't be fooled by empty words. And remember, a man who truly loves you won't need you to beg for attention or demand proof all the time. He'll simply show you, because it comes from within. His love is not a burden. It is not an obligation. It is not a facade. It is something natural which appears in constant gestures. In a moment, I will show you what these two signs are. But first, keep this in mind. True love is not spoken. It is proven. And a man who truly loves will prove it without you asking. Now it's time to reveal the first sign that shows, without a doubt, that a man truly loves. And I want you to pay close attention, because this sign is deeper than it seems. The first sign is true presence. It may seem simple, but it makes all the difference. When a man loves, he is not only physically close, he is fully present, body, mind, and heart. This means that even with distractions, work, and obligations, he finds a way to be with you, to listen, to support you, and to show you that you are his priority. Think about it. How many men have you seen who were present only in body but totally absent in soul? Sitting at the table but with their eyes on their cell phones. Going to meetings but with their minds elsewhere. That's not presence. It's superficial coexistence. And anyone can coexist. But true presence is rare and only appears when there is real love. A man who truly loves demonstrates this presence in different situations. When you talk about your fears, he doesn't ignore them. When you share your dreams, he doesn't make fun of them. When you need support, he doesn't disappear. He's there even without all the answers, even without knowing what to do. Just being there says, "I care, I'm with you." And you know what's interesting? This kind of presence can't be forced. A man who doesn't love may try, but he soon shows himself to be tired, bored, distant. He avoids deep conversations, disappears in difficult moments, closes himself off when he sees that he needs to get involved. A man who loves, on the other hand, doesn't run away. He may be quieter or more reserved, but when you need him, he's there. And that's what sets him apart from the others. Let me tell you a story to illustrate this. A woman was going through a difficult phase, problems at work, family issues, and emotional turmoil. She didn't expect her boyfriend to solve everything because that was impossible. But do you know what he did? He showed up whenever he could, brought her coffee, asked how she was doing, sat silently beside her when she didn't want to talk. That shared silence gave her the strength to carry on. That is true presence. It doesn't require grand words or exaggerated gestures. It requires sincere love and availability. You may be asking yourself, how do I know if his presence is real or just convenience? The answer is simple. Observe how he acts when you are not feeling well. It's easy to be present on good days, when everything is going smoothly. But it is on days of pain, doubt, and chaos that real love shows itself. If he stays close, even when the circumstances are not perfect, it is proof that he truly loves you. Another important point. Presence is not about the number of hours, but the quality of time. He may not be with you 24 hours a day because he has responsibilities, but when he is, he truly connects with you. He listens, pays attention, values your company. This is much more valuable than someone who spends the day by your side without looking you in the eye. This sign is strong because it cannot be faked. True presence requires commitment and priority cannot be faked for long. If he always makes excuses not to show up, disappears when you need him, avoids being there for important moments, it's not love, it's convenience. But if he is by your side when there is nothing to gain, when life is difficult, when all you have is a need for support, that is one of the biggest signs that he truly loves you. And here's a thought. A man can buy expensive gifts, make promises, and post photos, but none of that makes up for his absence. Love is not measured by what appears to others, but by what is offered when no one is looking. The first sign, true presence, is the basis of everything. Without it, love is just appearance. With it, any relationship can weather the storms. Keep this in mind. A man who loves does not disappear, does not hide, does not run away. He is there. And being, in this sense, is much more than just existing alongside someone. It means being whole, present, and available. This is the first sign that proves real love. Now that you understand the first sign, true presence, let's talk about the second. And perhaps this one is even stronger, because it shows not only that he is there, but that he really invests in the relationship. The second sign is constant care. When a man truly loves you, he cares about you naturally, without you having to ask. He thinks about you before you even speak. He anticipates your needs, seeks to protect you, support you, and above all, make you feel important. This care doesn't have to be something big, like expensive trips or luxurious gifts. On the contrary, it shows up in the little things of everyday life. It's putting an extra sweater in your bag because he knows you feel the cold. It's texting to ask if you got home safely. It's caring about your health, your safety, your peace of mind. It's remembering details that even you forget, but that are important to him because they concern you. This care is very different from control. Controlling is imposing, commanding, taking away freedom. Caring is protecting without suffocating, supporting without restraining. It's showing in a lighthearted way that you are a priority. A man who truly loves you doesn't leave you in the dark, doesn't ignore your feelings, doesn't treat your problems as nonsense. He may not solve everything, but he shows sincere concern and a willingness to lighten your load, to share your burden. Let me tell you a story that makes this very clear. A woman said she was a light sleeper and felt unsafe sleeping alone when her husband was away on business. Even with his busy work schedule, he always found a way to call her before she went to sleep, not to solve all her fears, but to show her, I'm here, I care. This simple gesture, repeated several times, was what assured her of his love, because that's what care is. Repetition, consistency, and attention to detail. And true care doesn't just show up on good days. On sick days when you're not feeling well, that's when he shows if he really loves you. A man who loves doesn't disappear, doesn't pass the responsibility onto someone else. He cares, even if he doesn't know exactly how to act, even if it's just bringing you a glass of water, asking if you took your medicine, or staying quietly by your side. These small gestures carry enormous weight because they show that your well-being is important to him. And here's an essential detail. Constant care is never a burden for those who love. A man who doesn't love sees this kind of gesture as an obligation, as a nuisance, as something annoying. He complains, does it reluctantly, feels trapped. A man who loves, on the other hand, doesn't see it that way. For him, caring is natural. It's part of love. It's a way of showing that you are a priority. Perhaps you are now remembering moments when you felt truly cared for. It may have been when he worried about your health, when he wanted to protect you, when he thought about your comfort before his own. These moments are valuable because they reveal who he really is. On the other hand, you may also remember situations when you were left alone, when you felt a lack of care, when you realized that the other person was more focused on themselves than on you. This difference is what separates a relationship based on real love from an empty relationship. It is important to understand, care does not have to be perfect, but it does have to be constant. Do not expect him to guess everything, to never make mistakes, to always be available. But observe, when he is with you, does he show genuine care? Does he show real concern? Does he try even without knowing exactly how to act? If the answer is yes, this is the second sign that he really loves you. And keep this in mind. Constant care cannot be learned by force. It comes from within. A man can even pretend to be interested for a while, but soon the truth comes out. No one can sustain false care for long. When it's real, you feel it. You notice it in his gaze, his gestures, his choices. So when you see this second sign, you have the final key to identifying true love. If he is present in body and soul, and if he cares for you constantly and naturally, there is no doubt. He truly loves you. Now that you know the two signs that show if a man truly loves you, it's time to put the pieces together and see the main message of this video. The first sign is true presence. He doesn't just show up, he is fully present, willing to share both the good times and the difficult ones. The second sign is constant care. He doesn't just say he cares, he proves it with simple, repeated gestures that are full of meaning. These two signs are the basis of real male love. They don't depend on money, status, or grand public declarations. They depend only on something that can't be bought: true feelings. And here's an important thought. Many women spend years waiting for a man to change, to declare his love, to show something that never existed. They live trapped in promises and hopes that only hurt. But the truth is simple. If these two signs do not appear, there is no real love. And on the other hand, if they appear clearly, you don't need anything else. The secret is to understand that love is not sustained by words. Words can enchant, but they can also deceive. Attitudes, on the other hand, when accompanied by presence and care, leave no room for doubt. A man who loves does not shy away from the responsibility of being there for you. He does not disappear on difficult days. He does not leave you to carry everything alone. He shows with daily gestures that you are a priority in his life. Perhaps now you are remembering stories from your own life. You may be confirming that yes, the man by your side shows, with these two signs, that his love is true. If that's the case, appreciate it. You have something rare that many people search for their whole lives and never find. But you may also realize that you are in a relationship where these signs do not exist, where there are words, but no presence, where there are promises, but no care. If so, maybe it's time to rethink things. Because insisting on something empty will only take you further away from the love you deserve. And it's important to remember, love is not perfection. No man will always get it right, no relationship is free from mistakes. But what sets real love apart is consistency. He may make mistakes, he may fail at times, but he will show these signs again. He will be present again. He will care again. And that consistency is what builds the solid foundation of a lasting relationship. What I want you to take away from this video is simple. If he truly loves you, you will see it. You will see it in his presence, on good days and bad. You will see it in his constant care, in the details that only someone who loves you can show. And if you don't see these signs, don't be fooled by pretty words. Words pass, actions remain. True love leaves no room for doubt. It doesn't create insecurity. It doesn't feed fear. It doesn't make you feel alone. On the contrary, it brings peace, confidence, and the certainty that you have someone by your side. If these two signs exist, you have found something rare and precious. But if they don't exist, understand this. It's not love, and it's not worth insisting on something that only exhausts you. In the end, male love doesn't need 10 complicated signs or difficult theories. It boils down to just two simple but powerful points: true presence and constant care. If you find both, you have proof that he truly loves you. So keep this with you. Love is not what he says, it's what he shows. And the man who truly loves always shows it.